um, looking for Mother Tree. Have anyone read that book? Mother Tree. Looking for Mother Tree. No? No? Okay. No one has read that book. It's really interesting. Is this scientist who in the 90s, I think it was the 90s, started doing research about how to preserve trees, like redwoods, big trees. In her discovery, she's learned that it's like a huge channel of communications that happens among trees and support among each other, right? And of course, not communicating like us, but also support by, instead of the notion that survival is what makes them thrive, but it's actually this cooperation in community and communication and sharing of carbon. And naturally the mother tree shares more carbon with those of her kind, but also shares carbon with others that are not of her kind, because she understands that preserving and supporting others helps preserve her kind. And so it's really beautiful how she was able to prove and investigate the communication and the nurturing and the importance of community. So those short 7 minutes were all about that intention, communicating and nurturing this community. What also strikes me about like her research is that persistence, like constant persistence to go through, like the level of research and pushback that she received because she was a woman, because she was young, but it took many years for her to prove her theory that now has been accepted. And so somehow that's kind of how our practice is. Like it takes a lot of humble courage and persistence to do this, because we usually begin very often for many people is because there's some kind of suffering that we're trying to alleviate, and others because we're just simply trying to figure out what the heck is this life, what is this to be alive, right? So whatever it is, it does, like we never know where it's going to take us, but here we are. We continue to come back, and sometimes we stop, and then we come back, and sometimes we never come back. And there's not one path that will take us to find whatever that we're seeking to find. And maybe we're looking for, enlightenment or ending suffering, and then we discover all these other insights, right? And that's the beginning. That just having some insight to continue this researching, to continue investigating. She didn't find out like right away. She just discovered something, and then that led to more and more and more questions. But as we were sharing just a little bit, it's not easy to sit in silence for a long time, or like when we go to a retreat to share a room with somebody who's moving a lot. And so that's why I say it takes a lot of courage and commitment and decide to do that. So I hope that what I want to offer you today in terms of investigating how and what you're clinging to inspire you to bring it into your daily life. Like when you walk out of here, that you could do a little bit of research on how and how often you are, we, including me, putting time and energy into investigating what are we clinging on to, right? And You're probably already doing that. I certainly do it, but we don't always are aware. I think it was like 2 nights ago. I was struck. I don't even know. I'm on Sunday today. It's Friday. I went to bed and I was reading that book, and my phone was charging next to it, and then I saw a text come. I was like, no, I shouldn't look at the text because, but I was waiting for this text for something, a class that I wanted to teach. I was like, no, what if it's not the answer that I want, and what if it is? And so I grabbed the phone and I read that text. I was like, I knew it. It's gonna take my sleep. Right? And so it's just like, I let go of my intention, and I cling to the hope that I was going to get the answer that I wanted, right? And it's just like, screwed up my sleep night. Right? And then the next day I said, I'm just going to get up and go, oh yeah, so this was yesterday. So that was Friday night. So then yesterday I just get up, I'm just going to go hiking and enjoy the flowers because they're blooming now. Right? And so I text my sister and I say, hey, let's go hiking. And she didn't reply, so I just like got my breakfast, ate my sandwich, and I left. And like when I'm in the trail, she's like, "Oh, I wasn't checking my phone, so I didn't miss your text because I'm intentionally not checking my text because I'm struggling with my daughters, and I don't want them to ruin my week." And I said, "That's the intention." Like she's like that's the intention. She really is like. Not clinging to like who's texting me, like right? So, but we don't think about it like that. Like, oh, let me see, what am I clinging, right? But that's like a good opportunity to see. Like I was clinging to this like a good news, a confirmation instead of like nah. And so it's yeah. So I'm hoping, right, that. We learn to investigate, but also that we learn to let go and to relaxing into just letting go, and that desire to control or to get the things that we want. And that letting go is really learning to relax and just kind of be okay with that. Is a practice of well-being. Not easy. It's really not easy. And so it requires to do it with some like gentleness and kindness, right? And like we sit here and it doesn't always come in the instructions that we offer. And then what do we do when we go outside? Like with my phone, it's like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted, and then it's like, it's okay, it's okay. I'm upset, and it's okay to be upset. Right? So, yeah, I think it's visiting that part and seeing what do I need to be relaxed. It takes a little effort. Sometimes it's a little bit easier. I have a friend, she's 93, Rochelle. She's my very good friend. We've been friends for over 30 years. She actually taught me how to use the computers. I didn't know how to use it. I was volunteering in this clinic, and she's like, okay, you can start like registering patients. I know how to draw blood, but I don't know how to use a computer. She goes, oh, this is how it is, and she's full of life, and energy. Age is not what defines her. It's like she has a lot of energy. But recently she's had a heart condition, and she cannot, she loses her strength just by walking from the living room to her bathroom. And she's done a lot of great things, and more recently funded an organization, and has a board, and when you are in a nonprofit and you have a board, sometimes you lose control of things, right? And so she's like, over the past year, she's been in this struggle with the chair of the board, who wants to go in a different direction. So we see each other once a month at least, and our conversations are about strategies and about her frustrations and all of that, right? Trying to figure out how to regain control and direction of the nonprofit that she's established. But now that she's sick, right? She's we just met last week, and it's like, okay, so I'm trying to figure out, like, how do we talk? Like, oh, the boy is not my priority anymore. I let go to that. And so it becomes easier sometimes. I mean, in that case, right, that is more drastic to let go. Things that at some point, like, were like passionate and the suffering was there, but it wasn't intense, right? But it was passion, and there was like this idea, like she wanted things her way, and the chair wanted it the other way. None of them is wrong. It's just like different directions that each person wanted. And so sensing, right? How is it that we're clinging and examining? Why is it hard to let it go? To let go. In everything, like even the text. And like I say, we do it, but we're not aware, we're not intentional. Like the stop sign at the light, which I was trying to explain that, but it didn't work at the beginning. We're like in a hurry, running, right? And like we could either continue and pass the red light, hoping that you won't get a ticket, or we're forced to stop and take a deep breath and just pause, right? And we have, I don't know, how long does a red light last? 60 seconds. But we have a few seconds there to just kind of like be with ourselves and our impatience and our anger, right? Or take a deep breath, and then we continue. And so we do it. And then we just kind of like relax, whatever direction we go with that emotion of being late that we're taking. And so what it is really, when we're intentional, and when we bring this practice that we continue to come here, is to really take a deep, honestly look at all the BS and all the things that we cling into it. Like totally look at it, with awareness. Wow, really? Like, is this really what I want? Is this really what I need? Is this really what is important? And perhaps it is. Right? Perhaps it is. And then just questioning, why is this important? Why is this that I'm believing so important, and how is this defining me? And then just like peeling into seeing really what's behind all of that. And it can be hard. It can be really hard, right? Like, in my case, I was just kind of like, oh man, I wanted to teach, this class about death, and I wanted to do it in the cemetery, and I had all this idea, and this person was telling me, but you could do it here. What's the difference? Like, I wanted to do it, and I just kind of have to like, okay, I'm just like gonna go on my hike tomorrow, and then figure out why is it that I'm like so attached to this idea. So just kind of like, it's just me who don't like to be pushed around, right? And just honest, I really don't like to be pushed around, especially when a man tells me don't do it like that, and they want to tell me how to do it. And then just kind of even going deeper there and deeper there, right? Just going deeper. And then you realize, wow, what is that all about? What is that? Why am I so angry? Why did that take my sleep? And it could be a little embarrassing sometimes even. That's why I say it could be hard. Like, how can I have those thoughts? How can I have those beliefs? And so practicing in very like small ways, very, very small, could actually start showing us big ways, can give us a little bit of insight to look into other areas that we need to examine. And little by little, like understanding our feelings and the way that our mind is operating, and how the operating mind that we have is really like triggering all these emotions and how it responds, right? And what do we do with all of that we're clinging? Deciding, what do we do? What do I want to do with this? If my intention is to be happy and it's causing me suffering, like, is this really what I need? and not saying that our belief or ideas are wrong, but it's like sensing what is causing us. And you could go like, if you tight your fist when we're holding into something, like tight your fist, like real tight. You two on Zoom, like hold it tight, lift your tight hand up. Come on Zoom too, and hold it really tight, like really tight, like tighter than that. Come on, I want to see your front wrinkle, like very tight. That's holding to our views or ideas. You hold into your views or ideas. Hold it very, very tight. Part of you want to let go. You're not holding tight. Tight. Like right, really tight. Keep it tight. And like see how in the body you feel. And if you're next to someone, put the hand on the other person. And just let your hand rest on the other person. Just let it rest. Let it rest. Not like gently like that. Come on. Just let it rest. Or you can put your own hand under. And just let it rest. Let it rest. Just let it drop on the other hand. Let it drop. Like naturally your hand wants to let go and release. Try that with a friend. Try that at home. When you're holding tight to those views or those ideas, like you believe in it, like it hurts, right? Strip out of all those ideas that you
Who did I punch?
Huh?
Who did I punch?
So, like, try that. Like, actually try that with someone. Hold tight to your ideas, your belief, and then ask somebody, just hold it and be there. Like, wholeheartedly present. Not saying a word, just simply hold it and let it relax. Could be a really simple and powerful exercise to see, you know, and how much like we hold, you know, that just that those ideas, those everything that we carry in our head, in our mind, and think how you could. Bring more ease into your life, but also learning wise ways to let go, because sometimes we don't need to let go. Sometimes we just need time. I'm trying to think of an example of when it's wise not to let go. And I won't use Camilo this time. Camilo is my son, and I always use my experience, and that's what I'm inviting you. What I'm inviting you is like to make this a daily practice with your life when you walk out of here, right? And so I usually bring stories about my son, but one thing I could think is my grandson's death anniversary is coming up next month, and it's been a journey to learn. For those that have learned to be with grief, and to learn to be with him and not in the way that he was, right? And so all those emotions, all those experiences are there, and it's healthy for me, right? It's for me, it's different to hold them, to be with that grieving process instead of pushing it away, instead of letting go. I'm not letting go to the memory of him or to my experience of being sad or grief. I'm simply like holding, oh yeah, this is what it is. Yeah, and just being with it, and whenever it shows up. Like I go dancing a lot, I say that, and I went dancing last night and had a great time, 2 hours non-stop dancing, and then I got home and I was grieving. Huh? And like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You could have both. And so it's like being wise also when is to let go. So it's natural to be sad. It's natural to grieve. It's natural to suffer, right? It's natural to be angry. But what do we do with that, and how do we hold it? It's natural to be cold. I mean, this is like a winter jacket, so let me put it back on. So one practice I was sharing earlier, the stop, is a very simple one that you could practice all the time. It's basically use the acronym of the letters stop. Like the S, you completely stop doing whatever you want and take a deep breath, or 2 or 3 or 5 if you need to, right? Observe whatever is going on. Just observe and then proceed with whatever you were doing or planning to do. That's a simple one. The other one that requires a little bit more intentionality, more research, more investigation. I'm going to start using the word research because I got the book in my head. But to investigate is the rain practice. Anyone familiar with rain? Rain practice? Yeah, over there? No? Okay. So we're going to practice it today. Where's my water? I was looking for my water. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I just sit there. It's okay. I'll get it. I'm going to practice with my tours. So rain, it's also another karma that you can incorporate in your daily life. But it is a practice. It doesn't come just like that. It requires, to be intentional about it and persistence about it. And so the R is it stands for just recognizing what's happening. Right? Recognizing this is what is happening right now, instead of being reactive. So I'm angry, right? Oh, okay, I'm angry, but I'm not going to react right now. So that's being awake, paying attention, awake to what's happening at this moment. I'm relaxed, my knees hurt, I'm comfortable. Recognize that you're listening, whatever it is. And then the A, it stands for allowing it to be there. It's an acknowledgement that you're a human being. It's an acknowledgement that whatever you are experiencing, feeling, or thinking is part of our experience of being a human. I'm bored. Yeah, I'm a human. I get bored sometimes. It's not about indulging into that thought of I'm bored, this is so boring, I wish I was in here, or whatever it is, or I'm angry and I'm gonna figure out how to convince this person to give me what I want. It's not about indulging. It's not about creating the story or trying to solve the problem. It's just simply the A is just acknowledging that it's what is happening right now, and allowing it to be there. Acknowledge it and allow it to be there. Just to be a little open and see, okay, what is this? And then you begin the investigation. What is really this? You can even name it if it helps. By naming it alone, we're taking control. Instead of the emotion that is triggering something, taking us with them, or that thought. We're saying, I see you. You're here. Let me figure out this, right? And it's not about controlling it either. It's just simply the A is acknowledge. This is what is happening. And then you investigate. And you say, what is this? What is it? What is this called? Where do I feel it? Where in the body do I feel it? And what does the body need to feel better right now? So investigate the whole experience of being alive. What does the body need right now? Right now, right? Whenever you feel what do I need right now? And you start looking at all these egocentric structures that sometimes bring us suffering. Right? Just simply saying, oh yeah, it's my ego. Oh, it's me that I don't like to be told what to do or how to do things, right? Or, oh yeah, this is really sad. My grandson died and I'm feeling, sometimes I feel regret, sometimes I feel guilt, sometimes I remember I did the best that I can. It's all of it, whatever it is, okay, this is what is happening right now. This is what I'm feeling. And then, just bring the end, right? For the rain, R-A-I-N, okay? Sometimes I think just in Spanish and I learn it, translate, so the N is, you nurture it. You nurture that part, not to identify it with whatever emotion it is, whether it's an emotion of insecurity, of anger, or like super excitement, I'm the best. Like not to identify, it's just an experience and that you're passing right now, like the sounds, like 30 minutes, 35 that we had sitting, that's gone, it's gonna pass. And so you nurture it with whatever you need. And we usually recommend, that's what we practice usually here. For those that are new, we usually end up with loving kindness, metta. Connect with that natural caring and kindness that already exists in your heart. Like that, it's already there. Like you care for others very easily. But now try and figure out how can you care for this body that is experiencing that. That's rain. That's rain. So it can be tricky sometimes, right? Because we are so clinging to these beliefs and ideas of who we are and what we want and what's right and what's wrong. And it can be tricky too because sometimes, yeah, this is real. This is what it is to be human. And so when you realize, wow, this is tricky and I don't know, hey, that's an insight. I don't know. Let me continue coming with a jokai or tip and figure out what is I don't know. Not being serious, it takes a little humor too because life can be hard. So in addition to being kind and gentle with yourself, humor yourself because otherwise it's like too dull